Daddy, please help her. The small voice trembled as it tugged at Daniel Carter's sleeve. Daniel looked down at his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, her wide brown eyes fixed on something behind him. He turned and saw a young woman pinned against the wall of a dim parking garage, 2 men blocking her escape. One laughed quietly while the other grabbed her wrist. Daniel's heart tightened. He was a single father who worked long hours as a delivery driver, always careful to avoid trouble. But Lily's grip tightened and he saw fear, not curiosity, in her eyes. He knew he couldn't walk away. Daniel stepped forward calmly and said, "Let her go." The men turned, surprised by his steady voice. One scoffed and told him to mind his own business. Daniel felt Lily step closer behind him, her tiny hands holding his jacket. "Please," Lily whispered again. The men moved toward Daniel, one pushing his chest. Years ago, Daniel had trained in self-defense while serving as a security guard before Lily was born. He never imagined he'd need those skills again. When the first man swung at him, Daniel reacted instinctively, blocking the strike and forcing him backward. The second man tried to grab Daniel from behind, but Daniel twisted free, pushing him into a concrete pillar. Within moments, both men were on the ground, stunned and scrambling to get away. The woman collapsed in tears, shaking as Daniel helped her up. He didn't ask questions. He simply handed her his jacket and told her to call someone she trusted. Lily stood quietly, watching her father with a mix of fear and pride. Sirens echoed faintly in the distance, and the 2 men fled before anyone arrived. Daniel picked Lily up and left quickly, his heart pounding. He knew he had done the right thing, but he also knew trouble sometimes followed people who stepped in. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She asked her father if he was scared. Daniel smiled softly and told her being scared didn't mean you stopped doing what's right. Lily hugged him tightly and said she was proud of him. Daniel didn't know that the woman he helped was more important than he could ever imagine. The next morning, as Daniel was loading boxes into his old van, a sleek black car pulled up outside his modest apartment building. A tall man in a tailored suit stepped out, followed by 2 security guards. Neighbors peeked from windows as the man approached Daniel. "Are you Daniel Carter?" he asked politely. Daniel nodded, confused and cautious. The man introduced himself as Richard Hale, CEO of a major technology company. Daniel's stomach dropped. He wondered if this was about last night. Richard took a deep breath and said, "You saved my daughter." Daniel froze. Richard explained that the woman in the parking garage was his only child, Emma. She had refused her driver that evening and decided to walk alone. When she didn't come home, panic spread through their household. Security footage later showed Daniel stepping in without hesitation. Richard's voice shook as he spoke. "You protected her when you had no reason to. You risked yourself for a stranger." Emma stepped out of the car then, her arm bandaged, eyes filled with gratitude. She thanked Daniel, tears slipping down her cheeks. Lily peeked from behind her father, and Emma knelt to her level. "Your dad is a hero," she said gently. Lily smiled shyly. Richard offered Daniel a reward, money that could have changed his life overnight. Daniel listened quietly, then shook his head. He said he didn't help for money, and that he only did what he hoped someone would do for his own child. Richard was silent for a long moment, then nodded with respect. Instead of leaving, Richard offered something else. He asked Daniel about his life, his work, and his struggles as a single father. Daniel spoke honestly about long nights, missed bills, and wanting a better future for Lily. A week later, Daniel received a call offering him a position in Richard's company, overseeing safety and community outreach. It wasn't charity, it was trust. Months passed, and Daniel's life slowly changed. He no longer worried about rent. Lily attended a better school and laughed more than Daniel had ever seen. Yet Daniel stayed the same, kind, humble, and present. He volunteered on weekends and taught Lily that strength was not about fighting, but about standing up when it mattered. One evening, Lily asked her father if helping that woman had changed their lives. Daniel thought for a moment and said, "No, sweetheart, it just showed us who we already were. And every time Lily saw someone in need, She remembered that night, and her father who listened when a little girl said, "Daddy, please help her."